Hi everybody, I am here with tutorial about Pepakura Viewer. I promised this tutorial to a lot of people which asked me about this, and because it's easier sometimes to read, sometimes it's easier to watch a video on YouTube, depends on the circumstances. I will be using basically as a script. I just go what I think of most of the time, but because I already wrote this tutorial in a written form with screenshots, I'll be using this as the script. So you can find this on the how to use Pepakura Viewer link in Instructables, or just search for it and we can start. So what are we talking here about is that you want to create a paper model. It's easy as it gets, but you need a dedicated software, a viewer or designer, but we will get to this later. Then you can open such a file and have a look at it. So you need to first go to a Pepakura website where you can download the software itself. So when I open it here, you can, as you can see, on the left side there's a 3D model, and on the right side there is 2D representation of the model, how you will print it out on the paper using your printer. But we will start and do it properly. So we need to go first to this Pepakura part and visit the Pepakura company website, which is Tamasoft. Just don't be alarmed when you see there is Pepakura Designer, but it's the same. They have on the left side there is a download section, and when you click it, they have several options, but what you are looking for is a Pepakura Viewer download. So just click on it, and because I already installed, I will not be doing this. You just download it, install it with the instructions, and you're good to go. So I'll just close this for now. So after you finish, you open up the program, but you need a file to work with. So again, you either can have some on your drive already, or you need to download one. So the name will be on the website. I didn't have to close it. You can go to a download section, which is again on the left side, and they have some in the lower part, some models to download. So you could go and read through the info, just follow me and download a cube, which is fairly basic shape and example, and just get acquainted, have a look at what it does. It's really easy, but because I already have files, in my case, I don't know how I will be showing you the example on this. So you should have installed the program, then download some file, and that we already did. You can work with some basic shape. So when you open it, as I said, on the left side is 3D model, on the right side is a 2D representation. You can, as you can see, move with the model. You can zoom in, zoom out. The same you can do using left mouse click and mouse wheel to zoom in, and mouse click to move the part, and let's say rotate. If you want to move the part actually in the 3D, use and click the mouse button itself and just move it as you want. You can get it higher or lower. That depends on what you need. So I'll move from this. When we open the file, obviously it's a very easy step. Just with Ctrl O and open your file, and you are good to go. So what you can do is, you want to, for example, not to show these all the edges, open parts. You want to close it we want to see it closed. So you can just show this option or disable it. So in this case, you see the helmet as it is, but you can use the emphasize open edges, which is also under view and emphasize open edges option. So I like to use this because I can see how it looks, and it's much easier to understand what you are working with. So I will skip this part. If you want to, of course, read the written tutorial. If you want to download already some more advanced models than just basic cube, there is no problem. I have a lot of links here about the Pepakura, about Star Wars, and of course Halo Armors, which a lot of people like. There is a ton of these things on the internet, so just Google it. I already used this and prepared in the tutorial for you, so it's really easy, and you can get a million, basically hundreds of different models. When you open the model, it should look like this, and you want to see which you can connect. So as you can see, as I go over the parts, there is the red line, and it shows you here. It's quite nice. Use mouse wheel, zoom in, zoom in. And you can see when you print this 2D representation on a paper using a printer, you will see what to connect and where. Of course, you can go with your software open on your notebook or on your PC and just use it as a reference. Or when you work offline, for example, you should definitely use a option which, as you can see, there are numbers. I printed out, so you see that's 326, that they should go together, as well as 25, 31, and so on. This option you can open or just choose here, or go to view and show HID option. So when I do this, basically it disappears, which is bad because you can make a lot of mistakes and accidentally glue things together which are not supposed to be glued together. So always remember to leave this option on. It's a lot easier, a lot faster to work with. Eventually, here as you can see, there is about some 15 parts, 15 papers. So you can see how many papers you will need when you print this model out. But before printing, you can either print directly from this software, but if you don't have a printer, you need some format, other format. You want to export it somehow, for example PDF, and you want to print it in your office or in some general store copy, or in your friend, with your friend printer. So it's a sort of problem because this function is not included in the Pepakura Viewer, not even in the Pepakura Designer. But there is a way around this, and I included this step here as well in my tutorial. And it's really easy that you can convert a video file to PDF file. It's nothing easier. You'll just after you install one program, you'll get the option in your printer settings as a fake printer, and when you hit the print, it will export the files. You'll get touch window, and it will export it in a PDF. So it's super easy. You can download it on your flash drive and print it out. So what you need is go to this web. I have this link here. It's called Qt PDF Writer. And you download it as a free download. It's about 2 megabytes. You need a script which allows this thing to run somehow. Don't ask me, I just know it works, that's fine for me. So go to this address, keithpdf.com, and search for the product, which is Keith PDF Writer. So for your convenience, of course, I included the links here in the tutorial as well, and it's all there. So first you install the Keith PDF, second the Ghost script, and after that, when you go to your Pepakura Viewer and you hit print, this is my default Xerox printer. I have this fake Keith PDF Writer. And just example, I will export just 2 pages, so it doesn't take a lot of time. And just hit OK. Wait a few minutes, depends on your system, how you have a fast computer. And I'm working on notebook, so it may take a little bit longer, but we'll see. Now you get such a window, you just hit a save, and then I open it on the desktop. You'll see that there is Iron Man PDF, which is super cool. It's easy to export. As you can see, there are 2 pages, and you can print it out, cut it out, assemble it, glue it, and you're fine. So this is what you need. Definitely keep it 5 minutes. It doesn't take longer. Install both the program and the script, and you will save yourself a lot of headaches. It's super convenient. Nothing easier than PDF. So I'll just close this for now. And the next step, I as well just when you want to try it, include it in the tutorial on Instructables. So I was talking about print, but how to print. I want to print. There can be several things that you should think about before you actually do print. Because, for example, when you open the program the first time, you can have a model like this, which doesn't have any color or any picture, no, like sort of pattern on it. But a lot of people doing these models use this. It can be, for example, like camouflage on a helmet or armor, but it can also be, as this model shows here, some sort of a gift box. So obviously, you can turn off this option if you want to save your ink and just print it just like black and on the white background. But this model makes sense that you want to print it with the picture if you have a color printer, because this can be for example, a gift box for your small sister or your grandmother. But in other cases, it doesn't make sense, because when you are working on a armor, for example, you will cover it anyway. So you don't need a color or a picture on it, because you will be painting it afterwards anyway. So I'll show you an example on this. I'll just scroll down here. And when you install Pepakura, it has a default location which you when you open it, it should be in your program files under Tama software, and I have both designer and viewer. So go to viewer, and there is folder sample. When you open it, there are 2 already installed files, let's say. So just open the gift box below. As you can see, there is the button. Alright, or let's say I don't want this, I don't want to print it out. So just go to a hue and use materials for paste. And you check this off, you can see it's gone, and you have clean paper, you can print it out now. If you want it, just go again, view, and just turn back. The same effect can be achieved when you right click and go to view setting. So this is what I wanted to show you. And again, as I mentioned, there are several steps you need to do before real printing. this is what I was talking about, the color. It's the material for faces. The next thing, which I already talked about, is the HID. So you want that the numbers definitely makes the work easier. So it's a view, show HID, or don't. I do say show HID, use it before. It's a lot easier. The next thing, which is fairly important as well, is when I was talking about the pattern or picture on the model, I showed you the display setting. So when you go to the program and you right click, I'll just zoom out, and you right click here on the left side on your model, go to view setting, and you get the settings which help you with what? You can turn off the color and texture. It's the same as I showed you on the gift box. I'm using this part just as a background and just now watch me. And you go to Edge and use black. You get just the black lines, obviously. A lot of people cannot find this option because they are printing it with the color and they don't want it either. They want to save the ink or they just don't like it. Some people find it useful. It helps them to assemble the piece. It can, for example, show where you should join it and so on. I'm not using it. I'm using the black. I just print it. That's all. That's for the printing. When you're building it or just looking at your model, you can also use this shade. It doesn't have any effect on the print, but you can see nicely how it looks, how it would look in the reality under, let's say, light. And as well, there is a cool function which is called size opening. You, for example, don't want to use this option with the edges and you find it small. You just look here when I'm using it that the size of the opening changes, and when I just use back, it's closed. So you can also maximize this, and you can see gradually it's getting apart. You can see every single piece, how it looks. It's nice, and you can go just back and assemble it. Depends how close you want to work with the model. So this is also important. And that's printing. I mentioned the edges and the real print. When you have got so far, you want to set up your printer first properly. So go to this file, and there is a button info. So when you click it, you'll get such option which shows number of parts. It explains the lines, which one means what, and most of the important thing is the paper type here, which says letter portrait. So there are two big differences. Letter is USA standard, that's for America. Europe and the rest, what I know of, have format which is called A4. So be aware of this. And the last parameter is portrait or landscape. That's also very important because when you print, you can choose this option, or not in this case. I could show you on a PDF, for example. You must be aware of the option because in what country you are, and it's set up in your printer. So as you can see, when we will go to print setup, show here, it's under file, print setup. There is the paper type. You see the size. I'm not using letter. I'm in Europe, so I go to A4, which is my format. And here is the orientation. It's really important because it can get skewed, distorted. Choose the one. You can see it changes. Choose the one that the model was designed in the first place. So in my case, it's portrait. I will choose portrait and not cute PDF this time, but I would like to print it out. So I would choose the printer. As you can see again, it changed. So just go to A4, choose it if you are in Europe, choose letter if you are in the United States, and then you could go in properties and just choose here permanently, for example, in your printer. You go to color, you could change it if it's to be black and white or color even in here. Every printer is different. Just have a look at this, it's really important, and then just hit OK. You can print, but check this, be sure to check this before you print so you don't waste paper, or just try it on one paper. It's always easier to just throw away just one paper. So this is what I showed you. It's in the pattern info. You get the type, you set it up in your printer, you're good to go. Almost. Last thing you need to go is print setting, which is under when you go to file, and that is print setting option. So just go to file, print setting, and what it does, I'll go by lines. Thickness of line also obvious. It says how thick, how wide should be the line you will print on the paper. I'm using 5 most of the time. Then print clearly or smoothly. Well, I'm using clearly vector print because vector lines are super narrow, super sharp, and they always get clean, let's say. Then you would choose print lines smoothly. You could export this in Pepakura Designer, not Viewer, Designer, into a bitmap, but I find it quite useless because it's more blurry, it's not really that sharp. But if you would use this option, go with transparency to 0, because when you go to 100 or less, the lines doesn't have to appear on the paper at all. So that's why I'm using as well vector print. Print page numbers, that's optional, but I'm using it because when I cut out the pieces, I'm go like cut this out, then I cut this out. I'm putting it in a paper folders in my desktop, so on my desk, so I can know which part goes where and then assemble it later. Because obviously you cannot assemble everything inside 10 minutes. Then print alignment marks. This print alignment marks, so that's just on the corners of the paper. It's nothing really important. You can just see when you use a print preview if all your parts are inside as they should. And again, lastly, I do not advise this, but if you choose the bitmap option, go with very high resolution. This is the option which basically says how the quality of the print should look like. So if you set this up this way, it's okay, and you should be just fine. So that's basically it. The last step, of course, is you can learn about the Pepakura Designer, because you need to, for example, you're not working on a fixed toys or models every time. In this case, it's Pepakura Viewer, good option. But if you would be building a armor, for example, you need to fit it to your size, and you need to scale down, scale up the parts, to calculate the dimensions, and for that you need Pepakura Designer. So for this case, I have created several tutorials which you can find sort of a table of contents at the end of each my tutorial, and just go through this, the topic you want to learn about, how I'm doing a series, and I put them in a guide all about Pepakura. So just feel free to read, enjoy it. If it helps you, I'll be glad. Send me PM, and that should be it. That's for the tutorial itself, but because I'm doing a video, I can show you a little bit more, and I will. Just few functions. Then we'll be looking on this toolbar in Pepakura Viewer. I already showed you this is just open file. This is emphasis on the edges, and I'm sorry, it has same icon. This would be using the pattern, the material on faces if you would have some sort of picture on it. So we don't. This um, this option is just coloring the neighboring faces. This option I showed you what it does. It turns on and off the HID numbers, as you can see. Then the next icon is the emphasis on edges. This just turns off and on the light. I'm using it on because it seems just easier. Show page number. I find this sort of useful because it gets in the model. I'm using this. Show parts name. This is useful, but not so much in Pepakura Viewer because again you can just see the names. But I'll show you something easier. You can click it. When you click this, as you can see, it just colors the part you used. But you click on as well, you can see on the right side that it's highlighted here. So if you just click out of the model, just for example, I want this right side. I can see that it's here, and it works. Just click anywhere the other way around as well. So when you, for example, click this part, and it's on the other side, so you just get there somehow. You just rotate it. Sometimes it's funny how it works. So you can just get there. I know it looks difficult now. Just click outside, click the part you want to work with, zoom in. There is a million of possibilities how you can work with this. It's really easy, so be aware of this. Then we'll just reset, so it gets the model basically back. Here you can print. There is a property info about the author and comment, but there is none in this case. And lastly, these two icons here. Split window. That's just using single window, split window. Split window you see both things. In single window you can go like this. Just two windows, single window. I'm using the both windows at the same time. It seems easier. So that's fairly basic. I believe you just have to try more things. Try it on your own, and this is for the Pepakura Viewer tutorial. Everything I could currently think of. With this info you can get by quite long, good, and if you want more complicated things, you can enjoy as well. Go to my Pepakura Designer tutorial, as I already mentioned. It will be in the YouTube video description part as well. It's at the end of my instructable. There's sort of table of contents, so you can go to my Pepakura Designer tutorial, which I'm currently working on. So you'll get more info, more things, and hopefully it will help you build your models, build them better, and enjoy your work. Have fun, and see you next time.